What's up guys, it's Kara Corey here, and when I think back to my childhood, there's nothing that I loved more than when my mom used to make fresh baked muffins every weekend. And I loved it when she made lemon poppy seed muffins because they just smelled the house up of that lemon delicious aroma. So today what I'm going to make for you guys are some lemon poppy seed protein muffins, and today we're going to use the MTS vanilla whey protein. I'd highly recommend just sticking with a basic vanilla whey for this recipe because you're going to want the lemon to really take over the flavors in this recipe. So we are going to use the vanilla for that. To get started, you're going to want to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. And this recipe does make 8 large muffins. I'm using the little silicone baking cups. I've got those sprayed with some non-stick spray ready to go. So we're going to set those aside. You can always make mini muffins too if you like. For this recipe, I had most of the ingredients laying around my house. The only thing I did have to go pick up were some poppy seeds. You can find those right in your baking aisle with all the seasonings right there, just a couple dollars. And everything else you guys should have laying around, or you can make some modifications. So we're gonna get started, and we are gonna mix things in 2 separate bowls. So have 2 bowls handy. And for the flour in this recipe, to keep it somewhat lower carb, we are going to use coconut flour. So for that, we are going to add in about 56 grams of coconut flour. And I do recommend you weighing this just to be precise with the amount that you're adding to this recipe. So go ahead and weigh out 56 grams. Ends up being like a little over ½ a cup or so. Coconut flour gives muffins an awesome flavor. They're definitely a great addition to any muffin recipe that you cook. It does add a little fat to it, but gives it a really nice flavor and gives it just like a different consistency, makes it very moist and kind of fluffy. So next we are going to add in some xantham gum. This just helps the product thicken up a little bit more. If you don't have this laying around, you can go ahead and make this recipe without it. Probably not going to be a deal breaker, but I am going to add 1 teaspoon of the xanthan gum. I picked this up at just like a supplement shop. You should be able to find it too in grocery stores and like the health foodie type sections. Next, we are going to use baking soda and baking powder, both of these guys, to help it rise. And we're going to use 3/4 of a teaspoon of each of these. And then next we're going to add in just a little bit of salt. I like adding salt when I'm baking. Helps bring all those flavors together. Just like a dash of it. I never really measure it. And then next we're going to add our poppy seeds. 1 tablespoon of our poppy seeds. And just pour these in here. Okay. And then the last ingredient going into this bowl is some lemon zest. Now, if you don't have a zester, which I did not, what you can do is just take your lemon and take a knife or like a vegetable peeler and try to just get off the yellow part of the rind of the yellow part here. You don't want to get too much of this white because that'll cause it to have a bitter flavor. So what I did is just lightly, I thinly sliced it off and then chopped it up really small. It'll give you a pretty close product, but you don't need to go out and buy a lemon zester. This is going to get you close enough to where you want. So I'm going to add 1 full tablespoon of our lemon zest. Shove that in there. Okay. So that's going to be our first bowl. I'm going to go ahead, just mix that up real quick, set it aside, and then mix our second ingredients. In our second bowl, the first ingredient we're going to add is some kind of fat. I'm going to use coconut oil, and you're going to use 1 tablespoon of this. If you don't want to use coconut oil, you could always use like a butter, margarine, vegetable oil if you want. But again, the coconut oil with the coconut flour is a really nice flavor combination. Next ingredient, just 1 large egg. We are going to use the whole egg. Throw that baby in there. 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Always need to have this on hand for baking. Right in there. Next, which is going to help give our muffins that nice moist flavor we're looking for, we're going to use some Greek yogurt. Today I'm just using the plain Trader Joe's Greek yogurt. And you're going to throw in there 1/4 of a cup. Next, for our sweetener, you guys will be proud of me. I'm actually not using Splenda for once. I am going to use agave nectar. This is just a more natural way of sweetening a product. If you want, you could use honey or any other kind of sweetener. But I am going to add in 1/4 of a cup, so I'm just going to use that same measuring cup of the agave to sweeten up our muffins. Okay, next we are going to use some fresh lemon juice. So using the lemons that I had to zest with, I just squeezed some lemon juice. So we're going to use 2 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Throw that right in there. And we're also going to use 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using the cashew milk today. You guys could use whatever kind you want. Go ahead and stir this all around before we add the protein into it, and make sure the egg is nice and blended. So after you've got that all blended, last but certainly not least, we're going to add 2 full scoops of our vanilla MTS whey. For those of you that haven't yet, you can use my discount code KARA for 5% off, and we'll have the link in the description box below to take you right to tigerfitness.com. So 2 full scoops of vanilla protein. This is a must-have to have on hand. This vanilla tastes like no other brand's vanilla. It's super tasty. Tastes like cake batter all on its own. So go ahead and blend that up. Now once I get this all mixed in, what I recommend you doing, and I'm going to do, is you're going to want to let the batter sit out for about 10 minutes to thicken up a little bit. So I've let my batter sit here for 10 minutes, and you can see it's nice and thick. It doesn't even fall off the spoon. How about that? Smells delicious. So we're going to go ahead and fill up our muffin tins here. And I like to just kind of start by doing a uniform size in each muffin tin, and then I go around and fill it up if I have any left. That way they all cook at the same rate if they're consistent in size. So I'm going to go ahead and fill all these up, and then we're going to place them in the oven to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. And then we'll show you how these turn out. Alright guys, so I left my muffins cooking for about, I took them out at like 18, 19 minutes, because as you can see, the tops are starting to get like a little toasty, which is perfect, but they do remain nice and moist on the inside. I just cut one in half so you guys can see how amazing they look. I ended up making 9. I had enough batter that I threw one more in there. I could have just made them each a little bit bigger, but it's totally up to you with how many you want to make. I'm going to take a bite of mine now. That's how a lemon poppy seed muffin should taste. Hopefully you guys can see how moist that is. The ingredients are really a perfect blend to help keep that moisture in there, but also that nice lemony flavor. Delish. You wouldn't even know there's protein in there, so this would be a great recipe to make with your family or for your kids on the weekend. Pretty simple. You just need to have all the ingredients on hand. Macros are pretty good as well. About 8 grams of protein, 10 carbs, and 3 to 4 grams of fat per muffin. So you guys can wrap these up, keep them in the fridge for the week, or keep them in the freezer and eat them as needed. So I hope you guys check this video out, check the recipe out, try it out, enjoy it, give this video a like, and keep checking back for more.